Are you wondering how China's Lehman moment, rising inflation, and Bumblin Biden are going to affect your finances and the market? Well, our guest today is going to help us answer those questions and bring some clarity to those issues. Bob Kudla, Trade Genius Academy. He's back with us again. Bob started Trade Genius Academy back in 2015 after 25 years as an executive for two Fortune 500 companies in the financial services industry. And over the past 5 years, Bob has amassed an amazing 65% overall win record in the market. So today, Bob's going to help us make some financial sense of some pretty amazing insanity going on all over the world. So Bob, welcome back. It is great to have you here. I think we really need you here.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Steve. You know, it's funny when you say you kind of let off your monologue with China, you know, there's an old Chinese phrase that says, may you live in interesting times. Yeah. And they don't mean that positively. And so I think we've entered the are we in interesting times period for the country. You know, the people who are talking about the fourth turning, you're talking about the dark winter. You know, I think right now we've gotten to the point financially where they can't put any more lipstick on the pig. Right. You know, the pig's going to fall over on its face now. And right. Let's start with China, because I think it's just like everything else they censor out there. They don't want any bad news to get out, but the China news is huge. And let me give people perspective. Evergrande and the other property developers are 30% of the Chinese GDP.
Wow.
Okay. But everybody always talks about China is going to be the next this and the next that. China's the next Ponzi. And so all they did was they created this illusion of growth, building. Remember all those cities that nobody lives in?
The ghost cities, the massive ghost cities.
Yeah. So those cities, what they've done is that they've created all this debt, and they get all these deposits, and they get loans on the deposits and never build the things. And now it's all caught up with them. So no matter how Evergrande gets unwound in China, the GDP growth of China is going to collapse. And what that means is that, you know, when Powell's talking today, I don't know when you're going to post this, but today's Fed day. When Powell was speaking today, he was asked a question, question asked, question answered, right? Are our banks suffering because of China banks? He said, no, we have no contagion risk. He's right, but he's misleading everybody, because what's going to happen is companies that sell into China and companies that produce things for export are all going to be affected by this, because internally they're not going to have access to credit. Externally, if you're selling stuff, Europe and Japan sell into China. Well, China's economy implodes. Well, China goes, Europe goes, and the U.S. is not going to escape that. Right. So it's misleading. So I'm seeing potentially what I call a slow motion crash coming. Okay. When the Lehman moment was a moment, this is going to probably be a Lehman mini series, because it's 6 times the size of Lehman, but it's going to probably come out in dribs and drabs over the next 2 years. It's not going to be pretty. And so there we have that. And then the Bumblin Biden. I mean, look, I think the part of the problem is, I'm not a Biden fan at all, ever. But if Biden was of sound mind and body, he'd probably have a little bit more control over what's going on here. And now, because he doesn't, you have these competing interests. Whoever grabs the mic that day controls the messaging for the country. Right. And they went ahead and the progressive movement is anti-Semitic. Okay, It's clear. They're not unapologetically anti-Semitic. So what they do to get the debt thing proved through the House, excuse me, they went ahead and they knocked $1 billion off the Iron Dome for Israel to get these people on board. Now, in and of itself, it's probably not a big deal, because they'll probably weave it back in. But what that told Israel is, you may not be able to trust the United States. Oh, what happened the week before? Oh, the French. Maybe we may not be able to trust the United States. Oh, and what happened the week before that? The Germans and the British. Maybe we should be able to trust the United States. So you got Taiwan out there saying, shit. Oh, sorry.
No, yeah, I gotcha. Absolutely. Yeah.
Defend me.
Yeah.
And so now everybody's like scrambling. Let's look at Saudi Arabia. What did they do? They started getting in bed with the Russians.
Yeah.
So So this means things for people that are investing and trading and economics, because if you can't trust your partners, you don't want to invest there.
Right.
Or you don't want to put risk capital out if you think it's going to get cut off. What else that Biden's talking about? He's talking about screwing up with the private placements with IRAs, not letting people have checkbook IRAs, jamming up the tax rates on the highest earners. Now, let's say that's all good stuff, right? Let's say it's all good stuff. It's not good stuff for investing.
Yeah.
So people pull back. Well, guess what? When you pull back, well, then there goes your earnings, there goes your hiring, there goes your economic growth. All these things are doing are contractionary, and basically all the things they accuse Trump of being, they're doing.
Right.
Which is just the amazing
It's known as it's known as projection. That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's pretty horrible. Well, what's what are the signals you mentioned today about the Fed? What are the signals that the Fed is giving?
Yeah, they're saying, well, they moved up the hawkishness from 23 to 22 when they'll start raising rates. The tapering is now closer than it's farther.
So
and now the Fed is no longer unanimous. They're kind of like split 50-50.
Hold on, Bob, just for our listeners. So when you say that it's hawkish as opposed to dovish, what are you talking about? Inflation concerns?
Yeah. So when they say hawkish, means they're going to pull away the punch bowl that everybody talks about. They're not going to let as much debt money out there. Interest rates will rise. And because they are concerned about inflation, they're telling you they're not, but they absolutely are terrified of it.
Okay.
Because you can lose control of inflation. We have the 70s on steroids coming, but they're stuck, because if they're too hawkish, they'll roll the stock market over, and everybody watches the stock market every day. So they're kind of trying to weaving their way through it, and they'll ultimately fail, because it's really Main Street or Wall Street wins. And I think Main Street, as you could probably tell, you're closer to the zeitgeist than I am, because you have a more rounded conversation you have with the world. Is that I think people are generally surly right now.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Australia. Australia might just go over the edge.
It's exploding. Yeah.
Yep. And look at the United States. Look at those. We had those stadiums, right? People were saying profanity Biden. Who's ever done that? Because people are so frustrated that they're losing their voice, that they don't feel that their politicians are supporting their view. They're just being told what to do.
Right.
That has an effect, and prices are going up. So people go to the store, they see food prices go up. They go to the gas station, gas prices go up. They get their rent bills going up. They go to the doctor, health bills are going up, and you have nothing else to do that's fun. Usually the thing about the United States that made us unique, we had a lot of disposable income that we could do things that are pleasurable for yourself.
Right.
And if you have to give all your money to support rich people, it tends to change the nature of the relationship between the people and the government. And I think we're rapidly getting there.
Wow. Well, then, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're talking about all these things stacking up here and creating sort of a critical mass sort of situation. I mean, what are we supposed to expect here from Biden? Whether we're talking about inflation or the border, the southern border, COVID mismanagement. I mean, he's literally collapsing in front of the world. How is the market going to react to just that alone, just Biden himself?
Yeah, I think we had the Taliban top, Steve, and I think that's top's going to hold. And if the top doesn't hold, it's because inflation has gone out of control. And so, we have a solution for either one of them. So if the market keeps rolling over, we have trades that we have for people. If the market decides to hyperinflate out or stagflate out, we have trades for that too. And but I think it's going to be general malaise. I think we're going to get these sharp. Usually what happens is the market goes up softly, does sharp moves down, and keeps going higher. It's going to be reversed now. We're going to these moves down, sharp moves up, move down lower. It's called the slope of hope, where you think, "Oh, buy that dip," but then it sells below the next thing. So the only thing from the secular standpoint that we like is uranium, because it's they have to fill these nuke plants, and supply is not coming back on fast enough. So other than that, everything else is a trade at this point.
Wow. Even crypto at this point.
Yeah, crypto. Look, it's really interesting what crypto's doing now. Crypto is becoming anti-fiat. In the past, people always thought it was going to be that, but it is that now. If you notice, when the dollar was getting stronger over the last couple of weeks, crypto's been struggling. The dollar went down today. Bitcoin flew higher. Same with Mara and Riot and Hut and BT, et cetera, et cetera. So now you got to watch and look at crypto as a weak dollar play. So now it's now it's truly in the same camp of gold, silver, crypto, which we always thought it would get there. So when the dollar gets stronger, usually that's stress on the market, but sometimes it's stress on these other commodities or crypto because liquidity is being pulled from the market. So it doesn't matter what asset you're in. If there's less money around, people tend to sell. And then when the market gets soft, when the dollar gets soft again, the stock market may not go back higher, but gold, silver, and crypto will, because there's a thing called negative yielding, right? At some point, people are going to be tired of supporting low yield assets, and they're going to go to undervalued assets, which crypto, gold, and silver are undervalued in comparison to basically the liability that's been created on the economy. So they're really the escape valve. And at some point, people are going to escape to those. So, but crypto is a great trade. The problem people have with crypto, it's kind of almost religious. Like, well, I have to own it, I can't sell it. Well, no, you can trade it.
Exactly. Right. Buy low, sell high, rinse and repeat. Yeah.
5%. I'll take 5% in one day. So and we show people how to do that too. So if you're hodl, okay, the message isn't for you. But if you want to trade, there's great ways to trade it, and you can make a lot of money. And not just Bitcoin. You could trade SOL, you could trade Matic, you could trade Ethereum, you can trade Litecoin, you can trade Link. There's a lot of them move a lot. You can trade Band. There's a lot of tradable coins out there, which and one thing that we've done, if I can do a quick plug on that, is that we created, I'll give your audience, and anybody that signs up for crypto with Filter with us, we have a filter for crypto that looks at scalps. It's on Discord. And it'll just send you as the algorithm gets the buy signals, it'll send them to you on Discord. Nice. And you can pick if you want to take them or not, or you can just be in our chat room or get our regular signals too. So a lot of people like to trade aggressively in the crypto market, so we created basically a filter for them. It's pretty cool. It's fairly new. We're not offering it to everybody yet, but it's been really well received.
Yeah, well, gang, as you can see, Bob is just brilliant in terms of how he understands the market, and particularly in relation to larger macroeconomic issues. So you want to take advantage of what he's offering here. It's amazing. And I've used Discord too. It's a great app. Love it. Love a communication tool. Let me give you a couple of shout outs here just to give you guys an idea of how Bob works with his students. This is from a fellow named Jonah. I've got 142% on this puts. Thanks, Bob. Could you give us a sense of what a put is, and maybe a little backstory to Jonah's success here?
Yeah. So a put is a speculation that the stock that you're in is gonna go down in price. Most people only really know how to buy stock and then sell it. Most people shouldn't short stocks because it's very dangerous. But the option market lets you make a bet on a stock price going down by creating a put option on it. And so we were explaining to people going from August into September, it's seasonally weak. The Biden, I call it the Taliban top, where he killed our Marines. I said, this is going to cause some consternation in the markets. And so when our algorithm was saying, hey, sell these certain stocks, I pushed those out to people and said, hey, take advantage of that. So I'm teaching people how to trade options responsibly. A lot of people do these YOLO, you only live once kind of trades,
Right.
And so that's what he's referring to there. So we've had general weakness in the market over the last couple of weeks. Take advantage of that weakness by buying puts.
Well, yeah, another one you have here is you guys having fun yet, and they're talking about winning, never too much winning. Nice trade. So it seems like you had a nice day of trading there, even with this crazy market. What's behind that?
Yeah, so over the last 6 days, the market was doing what we call army market, left, right. Basically, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm telling people, when the market starts going down, it doesn't go straight down. it tends to try to keep you a day behind. So I was getting people, I say, today we're going short. At the end of the day, no, we're going long tomorrow. Next day, we're going to short the next day. So this was after like 4 days doing it in a row. And these guys, you just see some of the other attaboys where people are like, how do you know this stuff? How do you know this stuff? And I say, you guys having fun yet? So well, everybody's like spinning, we're making money. So
that's awesome. Well, another one is, Bob, you have at least an 80% success rate on these option calls so far. Outstanding. So I think your students are recognizing your ability to read the tea leaves, as it were. This is phenomenal stuff. Give us a sense, if we were to click on the link down below and sign up for your program, what they're going to get.
Yeah, so what we've done is, just to give people a quick sense of that, we've created a couple, we think, fairly effective algorithms to help see what's called the money flow in the market, things that are overvalued or undervalued. And we take those trades. But how we do it for you is we try to basically put you in a position where at some point in time you're independent. And so we'll teach you how to trade. We'll teach you how we trade. We'll give you access to our chat rooms. We'll give you access to our algorithm so that you can go ahead and see the buy sell signals yourself. And then we'll throw trades out there for you every day too. So we'll teach you how to fish. We'll get you the right fishing equipment, put you in the right fishing grounds, and we'll throw you some fish while you're learning. So it's a really complete package. And what we did was we created some bundles, Steve, where people could trade crypto with us or stocks, or even trade the futures, where we do even more option trading. Those attaboys that you got were just in the regular room. I'll show you next month the accolades you get in the VIP room, because we do what we do in that room on steroids, and show people really how to take advantage of the market movement. And from there, you go ahead and build your confidence up, and you'll do well over time. And we discounted these bundles 65% off. Nice. So if you take advantage by Saturday, and some of this money that people made this week basically pays for the whole year. Yeah. Okay. So we don't charge a lot for what we do. And then if you don't want to do any of the bundles, you can just pick and choose anything in the room, get 40% off, use promo code FALL. And, you could kind of step into the relationship with us, if you will. And I think you'll like working with us. You'll learn a lot, and we'll help you make money along the way. And we'll give you some good habits. Some people that haven't traded before, we'll get you on the right side of good habits right from the start, and show you what you need to rely on when you look at a stock versus what you think you need to know out there in the world. So we'll get you on the right step.
That's the beauty of Trade Genius. It pays for itself, and in spades. It's wonderful. Bob, thank you so much for being here. It's crazy times. We'll be looking forward to some more chats along the way of this roller coaster that we're going to all be strapping ourselves in. But if I discern the message you have for everyone listening, whether they click on that link below or not, it's be careful. Is that correct? It's just time
you
to
took
be
the
careful.
word right out of my mouth. Yeah. Literally, be careful. Look, we may crash, we may not, but I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit more chaos out there than normal. So we'll have a lot to talk about over the coming months, Steve, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for giving us at least some stability in the midst of all this chaos. Bob Kudla, everyone. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thanks for having me.